Rosie, my Uncle Bob taught me many, many dishes, and this is one that's always stuck in my mind. It's got pork and clams in it, a whole lot of other bits and pieces, and it's really, really tasty. It starts with a good hot fry pan, and I'll get going to start with some onion and potatoes. I'll fry them off in duck fat, and that will give it a beautiful flavour.
Nice, simple ingredients.
Exactly, exactly. Once I've got that going, what I like to do is marinate the pork. Now, normally we would marinate pork overnight, but because you and I like to get cracking, we'll just marinate it for a couple of minutes, but it's the flavour we put in it will be fantastic. Now, to start with, duck fat. Duck fat has an amazing flavour and it works so well with potatoes, pork and just about anything you could possibly imagine.
You're a big fan, aren't you?
I love duck fat. In it goes. And if you don't have duck fat, you could also use extra virgin olive oil. And you can use them simultaneously and at the same time. They both improve the flavour of your dish. And a few bay leaves as well. And that will get things cracking. Okay. Now, Rosie, I've got some garlic there and lemon. If you can grate them on a microplane, I want them nice and fine, and then pop them straight into this bowl. While you're doing that, I'll get this little piece of pork fillet and slice it nice and thin. I love using pork. It carries so many different flavours and it works so well in a dish like this. And putting seafood and meat together is not unusual. It's very, very common in Chinese cookery, and it's got lots of protein. That's what it's all about. Into the bowl.
A lot of protein, a lot of iron.
Exactly, a lot of good stuff. I've got some red pepper paste here, which I like to use. It's got a bit of heat to it. You could use tomato paste. It's a very, very similar thing.
Want lemon as well?
Throw it straight in there.
Yep.
And some smoked paprika, a good teaspoon of that in there, and that will give it some lovely flavour. Of course, when we're cooking meat, some salt goes in there because salt loves meat, meat loves salt, and we'll put some pepper on top. Throw it straight into the bowl here with the pork, Rosie. In it goes. And what I'll do is get you to mix it around, Rosie, so that the flavour of these ingredients come together beautifully. And squeeze some lemon in there. Why not?
Oh, did you not say that?
Well,
sometimes I just get carried away.
Just as you were doing it, I thought, what a great idea. A bit of lemon juice to give it some acidity.
I'm here to inspire.
Exactly.
That's why I'm here.
I'm well inspired with you, Rosie, today. Now, I'll just stir this around. You can see it's starting to fry up really quickly, and that's what I want. Lots of frying action going on in the pan. Now, while that's turning around, I'll grab a chilli and slice it nice and thick because we want some big chunks of chilli through here as well. And garlic cloves, I'll just crush them like this and throw them straight in. This is a really robust kind of dish. In they go like that, and they will fry off beautifully. And all you need to do is turn that around a little bit. Now, while we've got this going here, I'm going to fry off the pork. Now, normally, as I said before, we would marinate this overnight, but if you spread the pork around like this and you're using strong flavours like the lemon, the garlic and the red pepper paste, that'll be enough to infuse the whole dish. So I'll spread this around like this, and then it's just a matter of letting this fry off nicely and sear off, which just takes a couple of minutes to do. You just stir it around like this, let it sit for a minute, and once that pork is cooked, we'll be ready to add the rest of the ingredients. Now, at this stage here, Rosie, I've got some olives.
Yep.
I want you to give me a small handful of black olives and green olives and throw them straight in.
Oh.
That's it, throw them straight in. A few more of them. Come on, Rosie, you're saving the olives for yourself.
I know, you know it. I love olives.
So probably about 2 or 3 tablespoons in there, do you think? Now, I've got something else here, which are tomatoes, and these are tomatoes that have had the skin peeled off the outside.
Naked tomatoes.
Raw or naked tomatoes?
Raw or naked tomatoes.
You can take the skin off or leave the skin on, it doesn't really matter. You could even use like half a tin of crushed tomatoes. Just crush them up with your hands. I like to give them a squeeze and throw them in. I like the juice from the tomato and the chunkiness as well. You could just chop it up, but I just love the way you squeeze it. But just stand back a bit because you get the juice everywhere. Now, Rosie, I'll add some clams here. This is about 1 kilo of clams. I'm going to pour this over the top. Now, as the clams cook, the juices from the clams will come out and form part of the liquid that's in the dish. But I'll also add some sherry, a good little splosh of sherry, and
Lovely.
That's good sherry. Some white wine as well, about a cup of white wine in there.
Like that, thank you.
And for some sharpness, I've got some sherry vinegar. I'll pour about a tablespoon of that in. Now, you just need to stir that around to make sure it's all evenly distributed and the clams are sitting in the liquid so they get nice and hot. Okay, the lid goes on. In about 5 minutes, all the clams will be cooked. They'll pop open, the pork will be cooked, and the potatoes would have soaked up all those juices. We'll clean this mess up, chop some herbs, and we'll get cracking. Have a look at that, Rosie.
Whoa. That's amazing, isn't it?
Looking good.
All their best stuff. The meat, the seafood, fresh herbs.
What could be wrong with that?
Nothing. Nothing's wrong with it.
You think my Uncle Bob taught me well?
I think he did, and I think he might have taught you a bit more than just recipes.
Oh, he certainly did. He taught me all about the world. And I'll just spoon some of this onto the plate. Lots of clams, lots of juice in there, some olives as well. You could just imagine sitting down to a big loaf of crusty bread, you know, but you've got the potatoes in there as well. But this is a great sort of family-style meal. The big pot in the middle of the table or on a nice little platter like this.
Yeah, it feels like it brings people together, this dish. A glass of red wine, maybe a bottle.
Oh,
or white wine,
exactly.
sorry. I think white wine for this, for sure.
Exactly. Now, I'm going to have a little taste of this. I've got some pork here and...
It looks beautiful. I love the whole olives in there as well.
That's delicious. The pork curries all the flavours together. It's like it soaks everything up. And you've got the clams in here as well. I'll just grab a few of these.
You crying a little bit?
I'm thinking about my Uncle Bob.
Yeah, that's nice.
He would have loved this.
I'm sure.